Hello, fellow project managers. Today, we are going to take a look at the PMBOK guide process flow for change requests. We'll take a look at how change requests flow across processes in the PMBOK guide and also what is not talked about in the PMBOK guide, which is the multiplicity of events that could happen when a change request is triggered. So it starts off with an understanding of the possibility of a customer need. But that's not the only place a change request could come from. A change request could come as a result of an issue. So there could be some issue discovery and causation analysis triggering a change request. There could be some risk discovery. Now, the difference between an issue and a risk is that an issue is a realized risk. It is what is happening now. A risk is uncertain. An issue is certain because it is happening. The other place a risk could lead to is defects. There could be a risk of a defect, and then there could actually be a defect. So think about it like this. A risk is uncertain. An issue is certain. A defect is certain. And all these could be the beginnings of a change request. But that's not all. You could also use the word impediment, as in the world of Agile, to describe a problem or an issue. We use these interchangeably where the exam is concerned. We also have internal and external factors that could cause a change request. But remember, there needs to be an analysis of sorts before raising a change request. There could be a problem, there could be an issue, there could be an impediment, but it needs analysis to understand what the change needs to be. So when there is some sort of causation analysis, a change request could then lead to a formal documented request. Another place that a change request could come from is a customer just saying, I want this changed, not because it's a defect, but just because I want something different, or for one reason or another. Could be a change in plan, could be a change in idea. Now, it's important to understand that a change request is not always because there is a deliverable with a defect. It could be because a process needs to change. It could be because the objectives of the customer have changed. So keep that in mind. Now, after the formal change request has been documented, it would then need to be entered into a change log. The change log is a repository where all the change requests go. This could be cataloged for rapid review. Next, we have an impact analysis of that change request with the team. All the constraints, all the areas should be analyzed. If this change goes ahead, how will it impact schedule, cost, scope, procurement, stakeholder, resources, and all the other areas? And if it is not approved, what impact will it have on the stakeholder relations, project stakeholder satisfaction, net promoter score, and so on? Now, when that analysis is done, the project manager sends the request and the analysis to the CCB, the change control board. Now, bear in mind, there's not a change control board on every single project, as the PMBOK guide says on page 115, when required. So it's not in every single circumstance. There are going to be some circumstances when a change control board is not required. Whoever the approving authority is, they will review that change request in step 5, and that will lead to step 6. The change control board, or whoever the approving authority is, reviews the change request, which was sent in step 5, and the analysis. Step 7, the change control board performs their own analysis and decides the outcome. Now, remember, for your exam, the change control board may not be explicit. There could be some alternative words used, like a sponsor or some senior manager who's responsible for changes and things such as that. The bottom line is that there's going to be a decision point, and this is, should we approve the change request or not? Whether it's a yes or a no, that outcome needs to be documented by someone, either the project manager or the change control board, as in a change control board member. That will be documented in a change log. Again, the same change log in step 3. If the change request is approved, then that change request is called an approved change request, and it becomes an input to direct and manage project work where it is going to be acted upon. Now, Just remember that the overall disposition of that change request, if it is not approved or if it is approved, is going to be shared with stakeholders. So whether it's approved, rejected, put on hold, pending status, whatever you want to call it, there's going to be a sharing of that changelog with stakeholders. And you see in chapter 13 of the PMBOK guide, this happens in managed stakeholder engagement because you engage stakeholders when you share that changelog with them. They are interested in the ultimate disposition. Now, if that change request has been approved, it goes to direct and manage project work. Let's zoom in there for a quick moment. So here we can see direct and manage project work and the approved change request going in. It is going in for us to work on that change request, and the ultimate result is going to be an outcome, as in a deliverable, a product, service, or result that leads to a desired outcome. So when you think about the word deliverable, bear in mind that it means product, service, or result. So the myriad of reasons why you could have a change request in these yellow boxes here is going to, at the end of the day, be satisfied through the output of direct and managed project work, which is the deliverable. Now, this deliverable will still need to be checked to ensure that it does conform to what we originally intended in the change request. So as a result of that, we'll get a verified deliverable, which is a deliverable that has met the requirements and expectations. That will become an input to validate scope, where the customer will check for themselves if that deliverable is fit for their use, conforms to requirements, and satisfies them. If it does, we get an accepted deliverable, and that goes to close project or phase as an input. And then we'll have an output known as the final product, service, or result transition, abbreviated here to say final deliverable transition. The bottom line is it goes to the customer and the customer is happy. Now, before we leave, let's backtrack, because what I would love for you to do is to draw this out. The more you draw this out, the better it will stick. As you can see, there are a lot of twists and turns and components, but writing it all down, drawing it all out multiple times just makes it stick better. So if you ever get a question about issues, changes, change requests, picture this and ask yourself, where am I in the process? From steps 1 to 9, which is the official change request process, and then beyond. Let's take a look at a more finite breakdown of this. I call this the change request sequence. It will lead to the ultimate disposition, approval, rejection, being put on hold, or some pending status until more information is gleaned. So it starts off again with a verbal change request. The request is put in formal writing. If the customer asks the project manager for it, the project manager should log that change request in the change log and analyze the request with the project team. The project manager sends the change request and the analysis to the change control board if there is one. Just remember, there may not be one, but if there is, the change control board will review the change request and the analysis that was sent. The change control board decides the outcome of the change request, and the project manager or CCB member documents the outcome in a change log. The change log is shared with stakeholders, and the project manager and the team carry out the change request if it was approved. Now, bear in mind, there could be a feedback loop here for more information. The change control board could ask for more information, or they could negotiate with the requester. Also bear in mind that the CCB seek approval from other approving authorities. For example, if the sponsor and customer are not in the change control board, well, we need to double back to them to get their approval, to get their understanding. And then all roads will lead back up into the main loop, either step 7 or step 8. But the bottom line is that this change request is going to be approved, rejected, put on hold, or put into pending status. Hopefully, this gives you a lot more clarity about change requests. If you have any questions about this, be sure to drop a comment below. I hope you found it to be useful. Remember to hit the like button, subscribe, share with your friends, and let them know that this video is out there to help them on those pesky little change request questions on the PMP exam and the mock exams that you do. Remember, we have the PMP exam Immersion every 2 weeks or thereabouts. So go on down to hpmexam.com and look at the details, or just go on down to praizion.com and all roads lead there. Thank you very much, my friends. I wish you all the very best. Talk to you in the next video.